Hello present, hello future, hello you. I want to talk about language today, because language is important. Okay, so our society communicates with the sounds that we make with our mouths. And that's pretty cool. We can use this speaking thing to, express ourselves and say what's on our mind. But it kind of works both ways, because language can also affect the way that we think, and the way that society functions. So for example, if I accidentally push these cards onto the floor, one of them fell. So for example, if I accidentally push these cards onto the ground, in English we would say something like, Teo knocked those cards on the ground, whether it was intentional or not. But in some other languages, they'll say something more like just, those cards were knocked onto the ground, without specifically saying Teo knocked those cards onto the ground. And what that's led to, I think, is that English-speaking countries are often more likely to lay blame on Teo for knocking those cards onto the ground, even though it was an accident. It wasn't actually an accident. I knocked them over on purpose. I actually had to try several times. But that kind of stuff, I think, can be more harmful than just who knocked the cards on the ground. Like, for example, using gay as a derogatory term, or saying, you throw like a girl. You might not actually mean the literal definition of what you're saying. If you comment on a YouTube video and you're like, that's gay, you're probably not— what was that? You're probably not actually using gay like saying that video is attracted to other videos of the same gender. But you are using the word. So even if that's not exactly what you mean, it can work its way into your mind, and you start associating gay with bad. And perhaps more harmful, it can work its way into other people's minds. So if you say, he screams like a girl, you're not trying to say, oh, he screams like a girl, because girls are scared a lot, so they scream a lot. That may not be what you're directly trying to say, but it can get worked into people's brains, so that they start kind of thinking that. And that's not good. So basically, language matters. Don't use gay as a derogatory term. Don't use girl or other such things as negative words. Just don't. Just don't. Moving on to comments. Tobias and Maki said you don't get choice in things like your accent, so you don't get choice in some aspects of who you are. Which is odd, because you are your brain and I am my brain, but because of nurture, those are adapted to whatever context the brain is shoved into. I really like that last line of your comment. I think that's a really good way of thinking about it. You're born with your brain, but then your brain can change based on what it's put in. I think that's a good way of saying that. And it's very odd. But it's also good, because otherwise we would just stay the same for our whole lives, and that's kind of boring. And Lauren said, general question, when you contemplate these theories, do you entertain them more because it's fun to toy with, or because they bear value in general? Okay, the reason I think about weird philosophical, do we have free will stuff like that is fun, mostly. But often I'll find that as I think about concepts, I'll start actually thinking that they hold value and can help me in some way. Like when I was thinking about free will, and I guess that's what I was thinking about, though I kinda don't like the term free will, because I feel like it's sort of misleading. But it got to the hatred is not productive thing, and I feel like that's a probably healthy thing for me to think. So often I think it can become valuable, but I usually just think about them because I enjoy thinking about stuff. Thanks for the comments. Should I have a sign off? Nah.